Hey, 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 it is an unstoppable day. Welcome to 21 Days of Gratitude. 21 days between now and Thanksgiving, where we express an attitude of gratitude, helping you focus more on the things that you have instead of focusing on those things that you might not have or the things that you cannot do. I'm your host, Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Leffridge with Unstoppable Coaching Services. And each and every day, we provide a gratitude story. And today, we have a special guest with us. She is a friend of the Unstoppable Story Show. She's a podcaster in her own right. She's an activist, and she is a woman of faith. And she is someone that I like to call friends. So let's welcome to 21 Days of Gratitude our good friend, Jill Jacobs Reynolds with Brave Heart Workshops. Good morning, Jill. How are you?
Well, good morning. It's wonderful to be with you. A little early for me here. I usually get up around 8 o'clock, so I'm up like an hour early, but I'm grateful today because my family means the most to me. And coming up to Thanksgiving, it's wonderful to be able to gather together as family.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful to come together as family, whether it was a family that you didn't have a choice of being a part of, or whether it's a family you chose to be a part of. So you were born into your family, but as you have grown, you've built relationships and you've created extended family from good friends, colleagues, and things like that. So when you what does family mean to you, especially around this time around Thanksgiving, Jill?
Well, I think now more than ever, Terrence and everyone, I'm really recognizing more and more the importance of the family I still have left. Back in 2020, it was a rough year for me where my sister got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And then she only had 12 weeks to live. And then my father was heartbroken that my sister was passing. So 2 days later, we lost my beloved dad. And they were the rocks of our family. Everybody adored my sister. She was only 68. And everybody was named after my dad. My dad's name was Ray. So my brother was J. Ray. My niece came next, and she was Reagan Ray. And then my nephew is Dylan Ray. And then my grandson is Grady Ray. So everybody got named after Ray. And when he passed away, Terrence, the whole neighborhood put the miniature flags in front of their house in memory of him. He was known by everyone. And I think, in certain ways, because you know me a bit, I think I took on his personality where he would stop and talk to everybody. And
Okay.
I'm the same way. So, just having that gratitude of family and the memories are so important. And so this Thanksgiving, we'll have my son, who's 40, and my three grandkids and my daughter in law over. And my husband and my stepmom moved in with us after my father died. So that's the remainder. I still have a brother, and my niece and nephew aren't going to be here, and my nephews won't be here, but at least I'll have my son with, and that will be wonderful.
So Ray will be in the house, no, nonetheless. So we honor his legacy. We honor what he meant to you and what he meant to your family as well. You mentioned the pandemic earlier, and I'd like to say nobody got out of this pandemic unscathed. Everybody was touched in one way or another, and for a lot of people, they were touched by either the a family member contracting COVID, or a family member passing away from COVID, or a good friend passing away from COVID. So I think what it really brought to the forefront is not taking family for granted. Many times we go days, weeks, months, sometimes, and then with some family members, we go years without having any contact with them, whether it's in person or on the phone or uh, Back in the day, we used to write letters. Now we send text messages. So, what has it meant for you, especially going through this transition and especially losing the patriarch of the family? What has it meant to you about taking family and that contact for granted?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I don't think the pandemic had anything to do with the losses in my family because my sister had pancreatic cancer and my dad died of a broken heart. So, first and foremost, but for me, I think the one thing that comes to mind is my father was a World War II veteran and just coming off of Veterans Day.
That's
One of the things that my dad had the privilege to go on honor flight about 5 years before he died, and he said that going on honor flight, he said he felt more honored and felt like the president of the United States. But one thing, and this goes with gratitude and family, that is a was one of the things that the military always did, and the soldiers of wartime looked forward to was mail call, and
yes.
mail call. And so when our military is away from home and can't be with family, one of the most important days that they ever had was when the mail arrived and their loved ones would send them letters with a little perfume on it or boxes of cookies or some kind of memory to have that gratitude of family with them in their hardest times. And that was one of the things they did on honor flight. They had family members all write letters to their loved ones before they went on the honor flight. And so as the veterans were coming back home on the flight from DC, one of the active duty military would walk down the hall and go, mail call, hey Jacobs, you got mail. And my dad said it was the most exciting thing, one of the most exciting things of the trip.
That's a great story. So with that being the case, what would you say to our listeners right now as we extend this attitude of gratitude about connecting with family or even reconnecting with families during this time?
Well, I think all of us have had burdens in our families because you can't get through this life without them. And so I think going into this season of Thanksgiving and Christmas would be to take some time to have stillness and to reflect on any memories you might have that were good, and then try to bring those to mind when you get triggered during the holiday seasons, because I think gathering together with family many times is more stressful than joyful for many people. And so as those stressors hit you during the holidays, try to pull up a memory. Like one of our greatest memories, Terrence, was my father created a memory when we were little that in Chicago, they had neighborhoods where about 12 blocks, they'd all decorate with a different theme of Candy Cane Lane or Santa
Hmm.
Claus Lane. And we'd go and do that. And my dad would take us there, and it was so exciting. And on the way home, about 3 blocks from our house was a water tower. And at Christmas, they put a big red light on it that would flash. And as we were coming back home, my dad would say, we got to hurry home. I see the sleigh. Santa Claus is coming. And as soon as we pulled into the driveway, my grandpa, who was dressed as Santa Claus, would be scurrying out the back door, and the presents were under the tree. And my dad would say, oh, we just missed Santa again. And that was one of my fondest memories as a little girl because my parents were getting a divorce, and it still brought light in the darkness. And so I was grateful for the memories that we had. And so, Terrence, my life was really hard, but I can bring back that memory in my mind and have some joy.
I love that. Grateful for the light in the darkness. That's what family represents. Family represents the light in sometimes our darkness. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're anything like my family, there's some times in family where there are some dark days. But more times than not, when you think of family, you think of light. you think of joy, you think of happiness, you think of relationship, you think of the some a trusted peace that you can only receive from family. So around this time, especially, and the focus of this show is to make sure that you're having an attitude of gratitude every day, not just around Thanksgiving, but around Thanksgiving, we really break that word down, and we are thankful for what our family gives to us each and every day. Jill, I appreciate you for spending some time here with us with the 21 Days of Gratitude and reminding us to be grateful for family. I'm glad that you are a part of the Unstoppable Stories extended family. Tell them a little bit about Braveheart workshops and how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, well, Braveheart Workshops, I'm a unique concierge event planner. And so our upcoming event for 2023 actually is an attitude of gratitude, of connecting with each other in community. So we are going to get away, Terrence, to Aruba, February 5th through the 11th, to an amazing, beautiful villa on the beach. So if you go to my website, braveheartworkshops.com, and you go online and then email me at braveheartworkshops@gmail.com. During Thanksgiving and with Black Friday, we're offering $100 off your registration. And so we're going to go February 5th through the 11th to Aruba. And as soon as we get back, we're going to be in St. Louis for the Becoming the Best You Could Be conference, where I've been asked to be one of the guest speakers along with you.
Oh, yes. That so you're already grateful for the things that 2023 are going to be bringing you. February in Aruba, I can attest to personally, is a fantastic place to be. So you guys go on over to braveheartworkshops.com and get more information about that fantastic trip. And then you can email Jill at braveheartworkshops@gmail.com to register with that Black Friday discount. You don't want to miss that. Jill, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing your gratitude story here on 21 Days of Gratitude. We appreciate you. Okay.
Well, you know what, Terrence, right before we hang up, I want to let everyone know I also have a podcast show called The Connection Show that you can find the links on my website. And I've just been asked to be a podcast person on Axe Media on Thursdays at 11 a.m. called The Connection Gathering. And it just started yesterday. So I'm on a TV show now every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Beautiful. So much to be grateful for. Again, you
Thank
guys, you
you.
can get more information about that by going over to her website, braveheartworkshops.com. Thanks again, Jill, for sharing your gratitude story with us here on 21 Days of Gratitude. Stick and stay after the show. We got some things to talk about, okay?
Yes, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you so much. That's Jill Jacobs Reynolds, Braveheart Workshops here on 21 Days of Gratitude, helping you have an attitude of gratitude, not only through the Thanksgiving holiday, but each and every day of the year. Now, hey, maybe you've got a gratitude story. We still have a few days next week up to Thanksgiving where you can come share your gratitude story. Simply shoot us an email over at tleftridge@unstoppablecoaching.com. Tell us a little bit about your gratitude story, and who knows, you may be a guest on the 21 Days of Gratitude, sharing an attitude of gratitude each and every day of the year. So, for now, wherever you are in the world today, you know what I say. Don't just make it a great day, have an attitude of gratitude and make it an unstoppable day. Take care.